Aloha, everyone. We've got quite the crowd today. Let's say hello to a few people. We've got Tarot Stash. Hello, Gerald. Wait, who's this Tarot Tree? Oh, right. That's Zane. Hi, Tony of Antoinette Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry. She says, hello, all. Jonathan, Priestess of the Mother Circle. Jaime, Zane. Let's see. And Selkie Field is here. And Deanne, aloha. Blue Crescent Tarot.
So I'm assuming that your beautiful guest, Ethony, is the priestess of the Mother Circle.
Yes. She's a priestess of many circles.
See, Tony's got it. I'm here for the expletives.
Yes. Happen. Notice popped. Okay. Let us play around with cameras for a second. Up there. Move. There we go. And then go. Bloop. Oh, and here's my arm. Hello. So today we're going to be talking about the Penumbra Tarot. So first thing I want to start with, actually, Ethony, is how much of an influence did you have on this deck, and how much of it was just you helping a creator produce a deck?
That is a very good question. I was nowhere to be seen, to be honest, with the artwork. So I met Eris back in, I did the actual math this morning, 2003, 2004, at a pagan camp, and we hit it off for our mutual, just she's awesome, and we bonded over exes, because of course that's what you bond over, is douchebags that you used to date. And when I met Eris, she was already a graduate of fine arts and becoming a teacher, an art teacher, and I had always known she was working on a deck, and she's been working on the deck pretty much since early on of us meeting, and I just said, you know, amazing, like it's beautiful, and just encouraged her. And at that time I was living in Australia. I was working in the corporate world. I didn't have any like idea that this was going to be what I was going to be doing. So it wasn't until she started to really get near the end of the project that I came in and said, you know, are you looking for someone to publish this? Have you had people contact you? Were you going to do a Kickstarter? And after a few chats, and the fact that we've known each other forever, she was really cool with me to write some of the guidebook, like the traditional meanings of the cards, and then produce the deck. So, you know, obviously creating the box and the guidebook design and the back design, and then getting it all printed. And so I really came in very late in the day on the project. And honestly, I feel like hopefully I've been very transparent of how brilliant Eris is, and I was very lucky to be part of this project. Like, she could have chosen anybody else, but yeah, she chose to work with me, which I'm very glad for.
Yeah,
So
when I saw this back, I was like, oh, it's an Ethony back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know, mine are pretty easy to spot.
So we have a few likes and a few that for each of us individually, where it might be a little like, not necessarily a miss, but just kind of meh, right? Let's start with the ones that we like. Do you want me to embiggen anyone, or do you want me to actually pull out the cards for people?
I'd pull out the cards, Jonathan, because you'll see them better.
Right, that's why I was asking, because I know your camera tends to focus on the card and then stays fuzzy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what was your first favorite, Jaime?
My first favorite is the Hanged one.
Oh, that was one of mine.
Yeah. I haven't, I mean, I have a lot of tarot decks, but I haven't seen it depicted in this way. I don't know. I think that this card is magic. So That's my personal opinion on that one.
Yeah,
and go ahead, Ethony.
No, you go, Jonathan. Then I'll.
I was just gonna point out the fact that now I'm seeing it on camera. I can see his halo now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the halo before.
Yep.
So, not only do I agree that this is an amazing depiction of the card, but it also has a very personal and deep connection to both Eris and myself, and a lot of people who live in Australia. We have in southwestern Australia karri forests, which are our redwood trees, and deforestation and bushfires and everything are like about obviously every year like there's problems with bushfires, but the deforestation of the karri forests are a big thing. And I have very fond memories of the very few family like vacations we took, and we did not take many, going to the karri forests and spending a lot of time in the Karri Valley. And the fact that this represents someone who has put themselves in the trees to protect the wisdom of the forest really means a lot to me, because I feel that when I see it, because I've been there, I've hugged the trees, I know the land. So yeah, I really love this card.
Yeah, I have the same, Ethony, for the Pacific Northwest. We also have our what they call tree huggers, right? They'll build platforms and they will live in the tree so that they can't get dozed down or cut down. So I have the exact same connection. So that's kind of cool.
Same here. I was actually going to school in Northern California when, what was her name? Butterfly, something Butterfly. Julia Butterfly had like put herself in the top of a giant redwood and lived there for like 2 years.
Yep.
So this one definitely touched home for me as well. What was your first yay, Zane?
So no one will be surprised when they see it's this death card.
Oh, death.
Death. I think that was one of mine too.
And anyone who knows me knows that I have a strong passion for mushrooms in artwork. And so as soon as I saw the mushrooms, it was like guaranteed that this was going to be a favorite. And
yeah, I had that in my pile and took it out because Zane had it.
And just the overall depiction, I like how it just, I'm also a fan of when light in cards looks like it's lit up. And the light emanating behind the skull, I just love the way it's done. And just the overall artwork just is so beautiful. The moth, everything about it, I love.
I'm trying to get it focused, but you're right. The light is like messing up my camera.
Yeah, and I like that it's not a traditional, like full-on, skeleton with a scythe.
Yep.
Riding a horse. And it's just something about it. I'll say the mushrooms are what initially drew me in, but then the whole card.
I love mushrooms too. I've got so many mushroom like stickers and artwork, and I'm working on a mixed media project, which is mushrooms. So yes, I feel you, Zane. I love that card because when I see that death card, I see it as this little cave, and like looking through that cave is in like the outside is behind the skull. But remembering that what we're treading on, right? What's below us was the death of trees and plants and bugs, and that things can still grow like the fungi. And a lot of fungi is very like sought after. Like it's a delicacy in a lot of places, different fungi. Don't go out and just eat random mushrooms, everyone. Probably should know what you're putting in your mouth. But that death and decay, that death and decay that may be hidden just nourishes life. And we're walking on the grounds of our ancestors, even if those ancestors are the flora and fauna. So I love that as well, that depiction that Eris
That's
created.
interesting because that totally ties into my first favorite, which was the Hierophant. Because instead of being in a temple, you see them in the original temple, which is the forest.
Yeah. And a lot of people really struggle with this card. Not this specific card, but the Hierophant as a whole.
Right. But yeah, this one just really spoke to me because well, I was born in Mexico and grew up in Costa Rica, and this just is like spoke Mesoamerica to me. So
Yeah.
and I just love
And
that it's in the forest, part of nature, and not separate like you see in most different cards.
Yeah, and I believe like if you read so yeah, I've got my my deck and guidebook here with the Hierophant, the conversation and where Eris was coming from is such a beautiful depiction of the great teacher, and the great teacher being the world, right? And a lot of our, as we know, a lot of our sort of beliefs or spirituality is very interconnected with a lot of other spiritualities, you know, like pagan spiritualities around the world have a lot of very similar practices. And I love that too, because I think the coldness sometimes that we get with the Hierophant being in a more church and looking more like the Pope can really put a lot of people off. But it's very much like warmed it, putting it, and grounded it, putting it back in the forest. And I really love that.
Do you have a specific favorite you want to talk about?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh my gosh, that's like trying to I love all the element cards. I think that they're all of the pages. Oh,
Yeah.
they're just like, and the torches. But let me find my favorite, and I will, so you can
So
keep going and I'll find it.
Kim asked what deck we are talking about. It is the Penumbra Tarot that Ethony printed, but it was created by Eris Elizabeth. And there's a link in the description. I also have everyone's YouTube channels in the link if you want. If you aren't not subscribed to any of these people, you need to be subscribed. So, thank you, Jaime.
You're welcome.
There's two cards that really speak to me, and honestly, there are so many beautiful cards in this deck. I love all of them. I fucking love the Emperor.
Oh, so do I.
In this deck,
Yeah,
I just think it is just incredible. He's so powerful. You know, we still have those traditional signs. So we've got the ram's heads on the armor, but it feels very grounded again, just like the Hierophant. It's more outside, and it's more got those natural sort of surroundings, and just that sun behind the Emperor just like speaks of all that solar power and all that amazing power. And I'm slightly biased, but I am obsessed with octopus and stuff.
Yes,
that's in my favorites pile.
I fucking love octopuses so much. I love that they're, I mean, many of you know, like, I'm obsessed with the ocean. I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I am in love with this card. I think he or she or they, this beautiful octopus, is just fucking gorgeous.
Fucking everything. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with their intelligence. Like, what an amazing card to have as the Agent of Cups. You know, they're intelligent. They can move the way that no other animal on this planet can move. They have this alien-like DNA. And I'm obsessed with them. So those two cards I love so much.
Well, look at the expression.
So many of them. Sorry.
Yeah, the
expression that's captured on that octopus. I mean,
I know. He's amazing. Yeah. Honestly, Eris is fucking everything. Like, not only is she an incredible artist, she's a badass. She's so kind. Like I said, I've known this woman since 2003, 4. We were in a coven together for many years while I was still living in Australia. She's an incredible person. So awesome. She's done an amazing job.
Beautiful. What is your second card, Jaime?
Well, I'm going to actually do them together because, like, I kind of traded out on meh to happy. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. They, Yeah, Ethony, you don't know me, but the rest of the folks do. They totally speak to my soul. The flowers in the sun, the coloration, the moon being the water creature. I mean, the only thing traditional here would be coloration, moon and sun, you know what I mean? And so I appreciate the fact that it's just not the same fucking sun and moon, and that there's no lobster, and
Yes.
you know, that these are magical. Yeah, totally magical.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with these. I love that they work like the two halves of the whole. And that's why they were chosen for the cover of the Penumbra Tarot. I am the same as you. I love that they're mystical creatures, because we've got the very real sun and moon, and then we have these creatures that exist in mythology, but could be also like a guide on the spirit realm. They transcend like this reality, and with the sun and the moon, with the powers that they have, it's like, it's gorgeous that it's like you were saying, it's not just the sort of original, which again I love, but I really appreciated her. Like, I was in awe when I saw how she interpreted those, and I was like, yeah, that's dope.
Hey,
well, we still get a
Jonathan.
nod to the original with the sunflowers.
Well, yeah, but still, but Well-Tempered Claire has a question of all of us of what tarot or oracle decks would we pair with the Penumbra, and I've been pairing the Earthcraft and then the Radiant Crystal. They go very, very well together, and even the Awakened Soul actually connects well to this, and picks up from it. So all three of those work really well for me.
I haven't paired this deck with anything yet. What would I pair it with? I'd have to give a good think on that. Have you paired it with anything, Zane?
I've also been pairing it with the Earthcraft, same as Jaime. Well, one of Jaime's.
Yeah.
Well, you know, who doesn't love the Earthcraft?
That's so good.
Well, the coloration just really matches really well, and they complement one another.
They complement each other. I can see that.
Yeah.
And I had a request, Zane, that when you are talking, I am bigging you, because right now you're hidden by the StreamYard logo.
Okay.
There we go. Yay.
Hi, Zane.
So, hey, good to see everybody. Good to be seen by everybody.
There we go.
So I'm going to kind of skip over my next two because it's for all the same reasons that everybody already said. I have the sun and the moon as well pulled out. So my next favorite is the Crown of Swords. She or he, no matter
Or
they.
It's magical,
this individual is magical.
Yeah.
I love everything about this card, especially the fact that it is non-gender specific.
Yeah, I love this card.
And again, these, you know, we have the Crown of Cups, and then we have the Crown of Swords on the back. And instead, if you look at, all this design stuff was very specific. And instead of facing each other like the box, they were facing away from each other, which was something fun that we wanted to do. And this beautiful and powerful depiction of an Indigenous Australian Aboriginal is just chef's kiss. I have been very lucky to spend quite a lot of time with different Aboriginal communities, and obviously, like, I don't know as much as I could spend a lifetime earning respect and learning the different cultures and languages, and there were just hundreds of them in Australia before, you know, colonizers, and it's just epically powerful, and what a beautiful way to voice the power of the land of Australia.
Agreed.
Absolutely, everything you said, it just goes into why this is one of my favorite cards.
Sorry, I totally didn't let you say as to why it was your favorite.
No, it's fine. I loved everything you said. It was amazing.
Well, that's the beauty about having you here, right? Right, Zane?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. We love getting insight. And actually, I when I was in college, I did the anthropology of Australia class. So I want to go to Australia so bad.
It's a beautiful country. What can I say? I'm a little biased, but it's pretty fucking great.
I kind of want to skip over my next one because it's the Wheel of Fortune. I want to go to one of the minors that I love instead. Actually, I'm going to show you two because it's just they have the same feeling for me.
Yeah.
And that is the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, which for me is just gorgeous images. And then this being that the pentacles are the plates that they're all sharing a meal on really speaks to the Six of Pentacles in a way that like I've never seen done before. So this one really like gives me chills every time I see it. And the Ten of Cups here, I love that it's not the typical image. You still get that rainbow, right? Like rainbow imagery up here, but it's this feeling of a community coming together, sharing a drink around a bonfire, and just like bonding over story time, which is amazing. So both of those for me are big hits. Did anyone else believe?
Well, no, but I'm a fucking knob. It took me until seeing it on camera to actually see the goddamn rainbow in the Ten of Cups. So thank you for that. Jesus.
Yeah. I love the overhead view of the Six of Pentacles. It kind of reminds me too of like the Knights of the Round Table. There's no head of the table. It's like, you know, there's that circle being such a powerful symbol that everyone is equal at this table. And then the Ten of Cups, I mean, I mentioned how I met Eris at a camp, and one of the things we used to do, and it still runs, I'm just not there, is stay up until 4 a.m. around a bonfire, you know, sharing stories. And there are people there who kids all the way through to, you know, elders of our community. And it's it like chokes me up just thinking about the Ten of Cups because it means, you know, it means a lot to me personally, but also it is such a beautiful inclusive incorporation. And you can look at it like, you know, that safety around the fire of each other at nighttime is just beautiful.
Well, it looks like we have a question for you, Ethony, from Sadhana.
No, they're not available at Banyan Books yet. I have got the contact details of because my other book is in there, the one through Llewellyn, to get it stocked. But it is stocked at Reflections Books. I'll just pop it in the chat. I don't know if they have the Penumbra yet, but if you ask them, I can send some down there. I used to work at Reflections Books, and so I do stock there. So I will. It's in Coquitlam. I'll just pop it in the comments if I can.
I don't know if you can as a guest.
Yeah, I'll put it private chat, and then you guys can put it in there. It's in Coquitlam. It's a beautiful store. I used to work there, so if you go there, they have my decks. And if you want to order anything in, they'll just the owner will get in contact with me. But Banyan, not yet.
There we go.
Yay. Cool.
Okay. Cards are so vivid. Yes, it's true. So we're back to Jaime, right?
Oh. This card just kills me, but it's the little druid in me, and this would be me as a little kid. I tell you what, growing up with the High Priestess, the Seven of Pentacles, so that you can pull it, Jonathan. She's just precious. I don't know. I think this was the first card that I saw, because when I opened my deck, I actually dropped my deck. And this is the card that popped out. So she's just lovely, just perfectly lovely, communing with the earth.
Yeah, I love that card too. Yeah, it's like a seed, you know, for me, like opening up and showing its face.
Yep.
I also
totally
get very
see you.
turtle energy from it.
Turtle energy, yeah.
Sorry, 2 seconds. Oh,
No problem.
Hey, Jonathan, you had us
Yeah.
somehow just a minute ago with the StreamYard over in the far corner.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually on Zane's face for a minute when all four of us were there. Do you know how you did that?
I have no idea.
Dang. Okay. Because it was
I didn't
perfect
even
where
do
it was up.
anything.
Yeah, it was up in the far corner and all four of us were there. And it's like, oh, I can see Zane's face. Maybe he clicked something. It was when you were doing the private chat thing. So I don't know.
Oh, maybe the private chat.
hi.
Let me click on private chat and see if it does it again.
Sorry, by the way. Thought I tried to get him in the other room, but he didn't want to be. And now he's
No,
seeing someone.
this is his mama.
You just want to say hi, huh?
Well, I clicked on private chat, but I don't. Is it doing it again? No.
No. It was worth a shot. It was good there for a second.
Yeah. I just need to pay the extra to get rid of that logo. So, speaking of Zane, I think you were next, yeah?
Did Ethony share her second card that she said she had pulled?
She did not. Do you want to show another one?
Oh, I showed the Emperor and the little octopus. So you guys can keep going. I'm happy to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the octopus was next on my list, so I'll breeze over that one. I just love everything about it. The artwork is just gorgeous. So my next favorite I'm going to talk about is the Four of Pentacles.
Oh yeah, you and this card.
I don't know what it is. Jaime says that because every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, I love this card so much. And again, I'm just someone who, like, the artwork has to speak to me, and this artwork just speaks to me. It's not your traditional Four of Pentacles, but you get the feel of the traditional Four of Pentacles. And you just get this you get the earthiness of it, and she's just gorgeous to me. This is probably my favorite card.
And it's got that very druid-ish as well, like that underground connection to the earth. And a lot of, when you read the book, Eris talks about these beings being integral to the land or the element that they are a part of. So all the earth cards are very earthy, and I really love that. Yeah,
I get a big dryad vibe from this card.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, very tree spirit. And I love the depiction of the nest. I just love all the little things you find as you like dive deeper into these images.
Well, if we're talking about pentacles, one of my favorite pentacles is actually the Throne of Pentacles.
Good old Pan.
Plus the Green Man. So you get a little bit of like the Pan, a little Chrononus energy. So it just, I feel like part of the reason why this, I think, is so powerful for me is because of a vision I had once where I was a raven in the world tree looking down at the roots and saw Chrononus sitting in the roots. So this kind of brought back that same energy of the vision for me.
That's really fucking cool. I also like how that tree looks almost ant-like, like just a tree in the background. You could see that thing springing to life and start to walk around.
Right.
And I love that about it because just a little obsessed with the ants in Lord of the Rings. So, I love that about it as well. And yes, Eris does still live in Australia. She lives in a suburb of Perth, Western Australia, where I'm from. And I miss her very much. It was a bummer I wasn't able to get over there, get to Western Australia when I was in Australia in January and December because the borders were closed because of COVID. But as soon as I can go back and see all of my very dear friends over there, I will be going and seeing them. Yeah.
Did we cover our hits?
I have one more.
You have one more. Okay.
Well, Technically, that's a lie. I have actually 4, but I'm not going to throw them all at you because they're all from the same suit. I just love them so much. But 8 of Torches, best depiction that is not the standard. Totally moving. There's something ethereal and mysterious, and I don't know. I picture myself being the person walking in that card. And that's why I like it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it reminds me almost of the gateways of initiation, of a quickening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't have it pulled as a favorite, but anybody here who knows me knows that I'm a really big scrutinizer of the traditional 8 of Wands. Yeah. It's not my favorite card in the deck, but I love this. I do love this depiction because it's completely out of the norm.
Mm-hmm. Right. I love originality, man.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in a card that's traditionally 8 sticks flying through the air.
You'll definitely get that in this deck. That is for sure. This is unlike any other deck that has been created, and that truly is all from Eris, for sure. I can take no credit for that. Yeah. I just wanted to quickly, for those of you who haven't seen them, the elements, I just wanted to quickly show. So the elements are one of my favorite combinations. I mean, this fucking tear with the goldfish in it. Can we even? They are so beautiful. I want them as prints. I absolutely love them. They speak together as a whole, like as in that you can tell that they're elemental symbols, but they also are a wonderful way to talk about that that place of that spark of each of the actual cards, and not the aces, they're the elements, and that's a really cool thing because it's kind of like the beginning of that court is captured in a way that's its own ace. And as you all know, I'm like a little obsessed with the court. So I just think they're fucking beautiful. Like upon everything else, they're just beautiful paintings as well. Yeah. And again, Patrice, the brilliance is all Eris. I just wrote the book. I just wrote some of the book, like the traditional meanings, and I designed the rest of it. So it's all on her. She's incredible.
These would make stunning altar cards.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would be wonderful to use in Magic. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I know everyone has certain cards in certain decks that they just don't vibe with, or just they don't understand. So I asked these guys to pull a couple cards that they needed a little help understanding the imagery a little better. I'll go first since it's the hot seat, right? I'm gonna skip the first one because I know both of you guys have already pulled it. So for me, High Priestess here is my soul card, and I don't know, there's something about this card, the clutching hand there, and the way she just looks a little stern. I don't want to say rub me the wrong way, but it just like I was like, wait, that's not the typical energy I feel from the High Priestess. That clutching and like holding on to things. It seems like she's usually very relaxed and just kind of there. Whereas here she looks like she's ready to like declare war.
She's ready to smack someone.
Right.
Smack a bit.
Come here, I got my roll right here. I'm gonna smack you upside the head.
And see, I love this more stern.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still see sereneness and peace in her face. But I love this more like, oh, do I really want to like cross this bitch's threshold? Because if you look at the High Priestess in the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah, she's the gateway to death. So it's like you have to be really serious if you want to take on an initiation to go through that gateway to transformation. And the path of the priestess is not an easy one. While she's at the beginning of the fool's journey, you know, being the third major arcana, if you include the fool as the zero, it's really fucking hard to be a priestess, to show up consistently, no matter how foolish people are, no matter the shit you're given, the time and knowledge and experience that most people don't put any value on. It's very hard to sit in that space at times and keep that. So I think she would be a little more like sassy, or a little more cautious as to holding on to things, because I think that's a hard place to sit sometimes.
I can see that. Yeah.
See, that's why we needed her.
I know. That's why I'm like.
But I get it. She usually is a lot more serene. Yeah.
Right. So thank you for that explanation. I actually like this card now. I think Jaime was next.
Yes. Dead air. It's a tough one for me. So I have 3 pulled that I wish that I had more in the book, although on one of them, strength, I'm going to discard her, because when I actually paid attention to what I was reading this time, and so I'm taking her off the board because I actually understand the imagery now. I don't understand Eris's use on the tower. So and this is just me personally, right? This is actually a beautiful card. I just have to take the people out. I don't do tower cards because of September 11th with people falling from them. It's just not my thing anymore. So I wish that with the portion that she wrote about September 11th, that she had taken those people out. I mean, I understand it. How someone sees their art is correct for them, right? That's why it's a beautiful thing where you have 4 different opinions on the same deck and we all see the beauty, right? I just wish that the people had been left out, because this tower card is perfectly effective for me without them.
Yeah, and that's both honoring, like you're saying, honoring the art and the artist's expression, and then honoring how it hits and affects you. You know, totally valid on both sides.
Yeah, totally.
And I think also too, sorry, Jonathan, I'll let you speak in this. Sorry. But being Australian and seeing that from the other side of the world, and then what followed afterwards, and we won't get into politics and all that kind of stuff,
sure,
is going to be very different to how everyone in America felt that. And not that we weren't fucking horrified. Honestly, I remember seeing live footage at work in the morning, just being like, what the hell? And it was hell. So I absolutely understand that, but there's also this like difference of like distance, and I've been to the museum, the memorial space for there, and I cried the whole time. Like you just cannot step on that land and not want to fucking like tear your heart out. It's absolutely horrifying. And now you know why there's tissues everywhere in that memorial space. But I actually don't hate the people in it, because of the fact that it is traditionally in the tower card. It's very hard when like you see art being so close to reality in such a difficult way. But thank you for honoring her view and her
totally
her art.
Yeah. And so Tony asked a question, Jaime, would you consider painting the person out? So I am the queen of deck modification. And so I don't hesitate to put my energy and my whatever aesthetic into someone else's art, if it can take the deck as a whole and make it a better place for me, if you will. So yes, fair. Tony, that is my actual plan. I have a gray shade set out where yes, they are going to be washed into the clouds.
I was just going to mention that I kind of agree with Jaime, simply because about 19 years ago, I took a Zen Shiatsu class. And the guy who ended up being my roommate, not only did we have the same birthday, but he was one of the fire chiefs at 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
So the stories he told me, I can't even tell you them because they were horrifying. I get that same vibe of the people falling in the 9/11 thing. It hits too close to home, especially since I knew someone who was there who told me what it was like being there.
Mm-hmm.
And the people falling is something that I also have an issue with in the tower these days because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's only a recent thing. It's not a past thing. It's only, recent as September 11th. But I have the same connection, Jonathan, because one of my friends was actually, the restaurant on the top of the tower, and her friends and me frantically trying to find her and finding her and then connecting her with her parents. So yeah, it's intense. It's for some of us, and it's like Beth says, there's always a degree of detachment if you live in another country. It's natural. And I totally honor that. I'm not dogging on Eris's art or the card whatsoever. It's just sometimes when, these things, they hit you in the face, you know what I mean? And you have to, for me, it's just reconciling with that particular card. And it's nice because, like I said, to have, even though we don't have Eris here, to have Ethony's take and what she knows, it totally broadens the deck. So that's kind of cool.
I also had the tower card pulled, I just want to say, but mine was for a completely different reason. Again, people falling from towers, I don't love them, but I don't have like the same initial like shock factor, not shock factor, but I don't have the same like aversion to it in the artwork. But my thing with it was I don't understand personally what this at the bottom of the tower is, and it reminds me kind of like in a movie set when someone's falling out a window, they put like the big cushion down for them to land on.
Interesting.
So it kind of gave me like a jump bounce house kind of vibe.
But maybe it's the part, so I didn't even click into that, Zane, because maybe it's part of that, the whole of the card, right? You can actually bounce up on the bouncy house balloon thing and save yourself in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
So that's helpful actually for me to deal with the card too without modifying it.
I'm actually going to ask her because it's not in the book, and I don't really know what that is either. I know she mentions Lady Frida Harris's illustration in the Thoth, and that could be some of the coloration and patterns from that card, as I suspect that's what it is. But I will double check that and let you all know, because that's really interesting.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first thing that stood out to me when I saw the card. I was like, is it bad? My eyes didn't even go to the people falling out of the tower. My eyes went directly to what's that at the base of the tower?
Yeah, I just quickly Googled the Tower of Thoth because I thought that's what it was. And it is the two colors in the Thoth deck are the red and the yellow in that card. And you can see, like, as we know, that deck is very geometrically, there's lots of patterns from that. So I believe that's where that came from, is a nod to Lady Frida Harris's work.
That makes a lot of sense.
Interesting. I'll stick with the bouncy house, Ethony.
Yeah, but please interpret it as well.
Sorry for disappearing. My internet had a hiccup, being on an island in the Pacific. So, where were we?
So I kind of piggybacked off of Jaime's
Okay.
The Tower. So then, should I share my first card?
Sure.
Or am we counting that as my first card?
You piggybacked.
So I have the Magician, which kind of pains me because the Magician is like my birth card. It's like the card I use as my identifier card. And because of that, I think I'm a lot more, I put a lot more weight into the artwork of the Magician card than any other card in the deck. So it's kind of unfair to this card, really, I guess. But there's just, I can't give a specific reason why. There's just something I don't, because I normally have to vibe with the Magician card in a deck to like vibe with the whole energy of the deck. There's just something about this card I don't vibe with. And like I said, I can't specifically name like one thing about it. I just don't connect to it.
I just want to know about
one of my favorites.
Oh,
Really?
well, good, because then maybe you can tell us what the stuff is in the background.
The kind of like melting thing. Again, I would have to like double check with Eris, but for me, it speaks more of that Salvador Dali. Is an impressionist? I don't know what his type of artwork is called. That, you know, the melting clocks and the, you know, the elephants with really long fucking legs, expressionism or whatever it is. I don't know. She's an art.
Surrealism.
Yes, surrealism. She went to university for fine art. So I don't know as much as she does. And I would say that is the surrealism of magic and that ability to, as above, so below, bring in this elusive ether into being, and having to exist in that surreal state, that in-between state of the magician to bring that to be. That's how I interpret that. And that's why it's melting and almost melting this red, which is connected to our root chakra, connected to manifestation, with the yellow of willpower, melting those two away to create the reality. So I actually fucking love this card. It's one of my favorites. I'm obsessed with snakes. I love the color of the snake. I love that it's a very different magician, that we don't see the tools, that it's just the magician standing in this power with the creation snake. So yeah, I really love this card for sure. It was one of my favorites.
Seeing it here now.
You're a teacher.
Well, seeing this now, I just, for some reason, I'm like, oh, it's all about having your cake and eating it too.
Yeah, it could be drip icing on a cake. Now I want cake. Honestly, anyone mentions cake and I'm like, damn it, I want cake.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, Jonathan, because I was taking it as the lighting, right, from the top of the cake and the candles into the icing into the melting down, just exactly in your explanation. That's kind of how I was running with it, because I mean, I can combine Ethony's thought process with that as well, because it just kind of opens up the card, you know.
Right.
I will say that explanation of kind of like the melting and reshaping of like reality kind of in that manifestation aspect helps me connect with the energy of the card a lot more.
Yeah, agreed.
And I will say I love the little nod in the book too, the snake being a representation of Britney Spears' snake from the VMAs. Yeah.
Fucking iconic performance.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, well, I can't dislike this card too much because there's a nod to Britney Spears in it.
That's funny.
So one of mine that I have a hard time with is the Empress.
And Zane loves that card.
And I haven't
one of
pulled
my
out.
favorites as well. Yeah.
I was gonna show it at the end so that we didn't end on like a sour note. I was gonna keep one that I love for the end.
That's why I wanted to bring it out now, just to, you know, I am having a hard time, but Zane loves it. So obviously decks are not, you know, like, cards are not for everyone. I mean, certain people are gonna love certain cards, and certain cards are just gonna be okay for people. And so for me, having this be kind of like I don't know. I just, when I was first flipping through the deck, I just like, this made me like take a step back in a way. Because I was like, whoa, okay, everyone else has been human, and then suddenly we have this anamorphic plant thing. So
Look at Beth. I love that Empress card.
Yeah.
right.
So,
Well, and that's why I
Me
want to show
too.
these things, because it's like, you know, for us it might be like, ooh, I don't really understand, but for other people it's like, oh my god, that's perfect.
yeah.
So
See, and I love every layer of this card. I love that it is the Great Mother tearing herself open, showing her heart, and giving what she has inside. I love that there's, Eris says in the book, there's eucalyptus and oak trees, so that you can see the eucalyptus pine, the little cones, the little nuts in the background, because she's of mixed heritage, eucalyptus being Australian and then oak being European. I love that it has nods to Mary, Mother Magdalene. I love that it's basically a pussy. I love that it's like the fruit seeds
Yes.
being given. I love the look on her face. It's just like, it almost looks like a peach, if you like, you know what I mean? I fucking love everything about it. It's just like this beautiful card of complete surrender of giving the heart. So, and with those seeds, pomegranate seeds being again connected to so many myths and so many different magics of being able to grow something new. The eggs that we that people who believe, you know, people with the fallopian tubes have. I just think it's just such a fucking perfect representation of the Great Mother. And the Great Mother in a lot of myths and mythologies may not necessarily be humanoid. So I kind of, yeah, love.
okay.
So I just want to point something out that as casually as I throw out the F word, Ethony just throws out the word pussy, just like it's like.
Oh yeah, because it is. It's like it's a
Bread and
pussy.
butter.
Like it's like opening, like birthing of something. Yeah, I just, yeah, it's very mandrake looking. Yeah, I just
Very
I think it's
mandrake. Yeah.
fine.
See, and
Yeah.
that was initially what made me love it. Was I was like, this feels like something that they'd be pulling out of a pot in herbology class in Harry Potter, like a mandrake root that screams bloody murder. That was the first thing I was like, it's a
She's
magical
the mother
lettuce.
mandrake.
Mother mandrake. That's right.
She's
Okay.
she's the mother mandrake, the very first.
She's a sailor.
Tony.
I can appreciate the card now that you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of why we do this, right?
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
Zane, you're up.
I'm up again.
Oh no, Jaime.
I'm done. I'm
Oh,
done.
you're done?
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Zane.
okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go. This is my final one. I picked the Five of Torches. And literally, the only reason is it looks like they're lighting this lion on fire with torches, and I don't like that. That's all I can say.
Interesting.
And with it being a card typically of like, you know, combat or battle, if you will, like it just to me looks like they're lighting this lion on fire and doesn't vibe with me.
Yeah, and that's, for me, that's exactly what that is. And she mentions in the book here, she painted the large lion on the window of her classroom as a part of a lesson on medieval bestiaries. So for me, it's like this massive griffin-ish, like mythological lion that cannot be burnt. And that's part of the magic of this card. It's like the Five of Torches, the Five of Wands isn't the Ten of Wands. It's not the Nine of Wands. It's this, like, even though it may seem like these elements can hurt you, these torches can hurt you, it's like it actually can't. You are of that element anyway. And this massive lion that is of a medieval bestiary is of that element. It cannot be burnt. So the threat isn't as bad as you think it is. And that's the real magic of that Five of Wands or the Five of Torches, is it's the more challenge competition card than it is like you're fucked, right? Like your house is going to be put on fire. So it is, and it's a bit confronting because not everyone likes to be challenged. A lot of people are like overtly like fucking yes people. They don't stand up for themselves. They don't want to be assertive. They don't want to get involved. They like sitting on the sidelines. So having cards that you kind of go, oh shit, it's like, this makes me uncomfortable, is some of the reasons why art is so powerful, right? It gets you to sit with certain aspects of yourself.
Right. And that's something that's so funny too, just like that small little explanation of, well, I think it's supposed to be that the lion can't be burned even though they're trying. It's like, I didn't even think of that. Like, that's something so simple that can make me reconcile with the imagery now, because I can say, oh, well, the lion's not supposed to be burning. They're trying to burn it, but it's not burning. And something so simple that didn't even click.
Empathetic, and you're thinking, like, I don't like the thought of any animals getting hurt ever, but because I knew this was a medieval bestiary kind of animal that was transcendent of anything on earth hurting it, that I was just like, yeah, this lion's gonna fuck up their day, man. The second they figure out that lion can't get burnt, they're in a lot of fucking trouble, which translates to the moment you find your power, nothing's gonna stop you. So it's a real, like, key turner moment for me in that Five of Wands.
So that completely removes that card from my least favorites.
Yeah.
I only have one left, and it's the Star.
Oh, see, and I love this one too.
Said why?
Well, okay, so for me, the reason why it, like, not irked me, but like just like rubbed me the wrong way, because when I was first getting into tarot, when I was like, 13, 14, I was at an art and drama camp, and I'm like trying to figure out what to do with myself, and someone's like, paint a picture. And so and I had a deck of tarot cards. I just pulled one randomly, and it was the Star. So I actually painted the original RWS, like repainted the RWS Star as like a tapestry kind of thing. And so the Star has a lot, since I painted it and saw the details and added the details and everything, the Star has a special place in my heart. And so to not see the traditional kind of like nudity and like the foot in the water, foot in the triangle, all that kind of stuff, that's what made me go, wait, what's going on here? She looks dark. Like, this is not a card of hope for me.
So the interesting thing that, because you and I, Jonathan, had talked about this card before, but where I finally, it clicked in my head for this is from the guidebook, in which this is the embodiment of the charge of the goddess, right? For I am the soul of nature that gives life to the universe. For me, all things proceed, and unto me they shall return. That it kind of was like, okay. You know what I mean? There was like a light bulb moment. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And I love not only the reference to the charge of the goddess, but also this idea of the fact that she could also be, it's almost alien-like as well. It's that star child sort of feeling for me of like, we don't understand the expansiveness of the universe and what is in the stars. There's a there's a song by Rush, which is an Canadian band that I'm way too young to know about. But there's this, my mum was obsessed with Rush. And
I was obsessed with Rush.
Yeah, so the song where they say, all of us spend time in the gutters, dreamers turn to look at the stars, turn around, turn around, turn around, walk the razor's edge, don't turn your back and slam the door on me. So that, I mean, the lyrics are not a fucking Neil Peart, honestly, may he rest in sainthood. But that song connects to me with the star card. And that's what talks about hope, is like, you've got to, when you're in despair, you have to walk the razor's edge of despair and hope, because you can tip either way. And she's got these razors almost coming from her fingers and these sparks of hope coming from the bottom. And but then there's almost like this tree-like expansion coming from her. So, and her eyes are blank. So is she channeling something? Is she of another universe? And this massive fucking crown. Yeah, I love everything about it because it is so otherworldly, and the star in the image in the original is one of my favorites too. Like I fucking love it. But that also that blade that can cut you free from what's binding you, I just think it's which could cut you free from the chains of the devil. It just I live for this card. I think it's beautiful. But I see where you're coming from too, because I love the original artwork as well of the star. But yeah, I do like that it's different.
Well, you've definitely helped, both you and Jaime have helped me get this out of my meh pile. But this one, I think, was the one that rubbed me the wrong way the most out of the whole deck, because of that connection I had with the original artwork. Like, that was my step into the tarot world. It was because of the star card. So,
yeah. And we all have those like cards that we look for in a deck that we go, oh, please don't fuck up. Well, like, please let me like this card, Oh, it's an Oscar Wilde quote. Thank you. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. So yes, that's when Neil got those lyrics. So, we all have those cards, and for me, it's the Queen of Swords, and thankfully, she did the most amazing job. But that being a card that I embody, and often she's given such a fucking like rude, horrible, harsh expression, and so I get it. I get that there's definitely those cards that you kind of like, come on, please let me really like it. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, thanks for the explanation, because it definitely helps me with this one. And I think that's it as far as our likes and our mehs. Overall, this deck is just amazing. So,
well, that's all. It's all Eris, and as Candy Soul and so says, this is Eris Elizabeth's deck, and she did an amazing job, and like honestly, a transcending job of this deck, pouring hundreds and thousands of hours of work into her paintings. And I'm blessed to know her as a personal friend, and really glad, like super fucking glad, that I was able to share her work with so many people, because that makes me really happy, because she deserves all the success that she gets.
Yeah.
I have one final question for you, Ethony. If anyone else is out there creating a deck and wants to be represented by Ethony, how do they do that?
Yeah, so if you want to work with me, definitely just email me at support@ethony.com, and I will definitely get back to you. You can also at Ethony at Instagram and DM me if you're finding the support emails and going through for some reason, or it got into my trash and I haven't responded. I definitely, I'd love to support indie creators. I am one myself, and I know how much work gets put into it, and that's the best way to get a hold of me is via. And remember, I only have one fucking account on Instagram. It's Ethony at Ethony. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no other me. I only have one YouTube channel.
It's back to the clones.
Oh, and it's just
you don't send out requests
to
read for people.
No, I do not.
I never solicit.
It's but I fucking refuse to give, man. I know a lot of people, and I'm not saying that the choice other people, my peers, have chosen to make for themselves isn't the right decision. But bitch, I have a variety, and I'm a Gemini, and I'm like, you ain't going nowhere. You're not snuffing my communication out. I will outlast you. Dig my heel in. Tell you to fuck up.
Yes, Tony, Jaime has.
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah, the Awakened Soul Oracle is probably one of my, it's in my top 5 of my most favorite oracles ever. So I try and throw it at everything to see if it'll talk. And it definitely talks with the Penumbra. So that's pretty cool.
That Oracle deck has got a very, very special place in my heart. That was, and Danielle and I are working on the Awakened Soul Tarot.
Nice.
And that's another amazing Australian artist that I've been working with for years. So, it's got all of my little babies have got a special place in my heart.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty terrific.
Oh my God, Gerald.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to fuss with me. Don't spend time. Like my big thing, like with most things, where it's like with people spending time like dissing people, getting into disagreements, or like picking on one thing someone said at one point and trying to like cancel them. It's like, go fuck when you're doing something more fucking, you know, be a better person than trying to tear other people down. Like karma's gonna get them. If they're an asshole, the best thing you can do is just fucking walk away and not give them any of your energy. But that's just me. I'm like, I don't have time to like, you know, get sucked into that shit. I'm too busy being awesome. No, I'm too busy working, to be fair.
Amen to that.
I'm just happy that I get to shuffle this goddamn deck again, because I've had to keep it in order because Zane and I have gotten together several times.
That's why I immediately started shuffling it as soon as you were done
like,
talking.
oh shit, I got to put it back in order. So I'm happy.
Me too.
You.
As I'm literally about to shuffle.
Here, you want to be outed? Here, Gerald. You can be outed if you want. I'm surprised no one outed me for not owning any of Ethony's decks. Jeffrey has them, but I don't. They're in your house, so that counts.
I have all of them, Gerald. What the hell? Catch up.
Oh, every time Gerald, I have to say this, every time Gerald asks me, oh, like, any decks you think I should check out and get? Every time I'm like, well, since you still don't have the Modern Love. Yeah.
Really?
Every time. I throw it in his face every time he asks.
Well, I again do love the Modern Love.
That's literally probably my top 2, maybe my top 1 favorite deck.
Thank you. And that means a lot, because a part of like Lucy is obviously very talented as well. But that was a deck that I specifically created, like as in I scoped everything, every color, every symbol. We sometimes changed a few things around, but that was my vision through and through. So that means a lot to me. Blushing.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah,
I talk it up every chance I get.
Oh, Gerald.
Oh my gosh, my fan is all the way over there and I can't. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's a tarot one.
Yeah.
Bitch, I've got a Trixie Mattel one.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You got to get the comments
you,
underneath
Gerald.
that, Jonathan.
These are my friends.
Yeah. We are your friends, Gerald. We're just trying to help
Isn't it
you
your
out.
friends who, yeah, exactly. Your friends are the ones who throw the most shade. Are you kidding? Like, that's what it should be.
Well, it's
Anyone
funny.
wants one of these, you can go on Etsy to enlighten.
Oh, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's funny. All three of us
Gerald's
have the
been
Modern
with
Love.
Yeah, all
Because
three
of
of us
Gerald.
have talked it up for sure.
Yeah.
I know that's one we all have and love and use.
Yeah, I have it in a
Have it right.
special case and the whole 9. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's always like right beside me in this bag I made for it.
We're just gonna fangirl for just a second. That's
Yeah,
all.
sorry, Ethony, but sorry, not sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. I don't mind. I just
You're
want
making
to
Ethony blush.
It's okay. I don't mind. I appreciate it.
So, do you have any decks in the work right now, Ethony?
Yes, I have a number. I just finished writing the guidebook for my Inner Wisdom Tarot.
You.
And this is the Fool's Journey, where I just started teaching my Master the Tarot class for the year on Monday. So this is the Fool's Journey with my images. I'm obsessed with the Fool. I wish I had some more. I don't have any of the printouts to show you, but I'm obsessed with the Fool and so many of these cards. And you're really going to enjoy the modern mash with the Rider-Waite that it is. I'm just looking at the star. You're going to like the star, Jonathan. Yeah, you will. The guidebook has been finished. So we're just going through edits, and that's going to start to be in production. And the guidebook is going to be like my quintessential study the tarot in different, like, what does it mean in love? What does it mean in finance, kind of thing. And then I'm working on 3 others, the Awakened Soul Tarot, and 2 that I can't really speak about right now, that are in progress. So I've got 4 in the works.
When do
When I'm reading, just a few things I'm working on.
When do pre-orders start for the
soon? Yeah, really soon. So I think it's just we like to get everything to the printer so it's started printing before we open pre-orders, because we don't want people waiting too long. But again, it'll have the stamp back, you'll have that Ethony sort of thing. It'll be the same finish as the Penumbra Tarot. So I'm really excited, and I'm really excited for that one, because it's going to be a different, but like something that I'm really excited about, because I do have a deep love for the Rider-Waite system, but I've been able to put my own spin on it. So yeah,
So exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Go sign up to my newsletter if you want to find out when pre-orders open, because that's going to be the best. Or stalk me lightly on social media.
Yeah, consider yourself stalked already.
So yeah, I've got quite a few little irons in the fire.
That's awesome.
So it looks like Beth and Gerald are talking about doing a deck casual for the Modern Love.
Ooh.
If Gerald gets the deck.
When?
Zane,
You mean
do you
when
have
Gerald
anything?
gets it?
Yeah, when exactly? Do you have anything coming up on your channel, Zane?
So not specifically on my channel, but I will be, today's the 8th, on the 11th. So I have to get my days all out, like sorted out in my head. On the 11th, so Friday, I will be joining Ange of Tiny Trinkets and Tarot on her channel. Just for a casual like chit chat kind of thing. And then on the 15th, I'm on Orshi's channel.
Nice.
To talk about some of my deck creations and stuff like that.
Cool.
Jaime?
I am with Tarot Stash and Patrice today. In a couple hours, we're going to go over the Lovely Day Tarot. And yeah, that'll be amazing. It'll be great.
I also am going to be on Ange's channel, but that's not till the 26th. You're going to be talking about my wearable crystal grid necklaces that I make. And next week, I am going to do a little expo of my Hawaiian Lenormands, which I need to change a few things, but I'm still going to show you guys what I got. Like, my name is so hidden there. I got to fix it. But, overall, it's a fun little deck. And a bunch of the pictures are actually pictures I took. Like the child is a picture of my own child. So.
Apollo.
So come back next week to see the cards. Thank you guys so much for being here. And again, if you are interested in the deck, the link is in the description, and it's been posted several times in chat. So yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully we will see you over. Is that on Gerald's channel that you guys are doing that, Jaime?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so we'll see you on Tarot Stash in a couple hours. And yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful.
Of course.
Yay.
Aloha, everyone.
Bye,
Talk to you
everybody.
soon.